announced reciprocal tariff. Donald Trump has said, we will charge what countries charge the United States. Trump says reciprocal tariffs are in the interest of fairness. He's very clearly saying whatever tariff any country imposes on the United States of America or imports from the US will impose the same tariffs on those countries. His spokesperson in the White House had said this is a very simple principle, and Donald Trump has just announced it. Listen in to Donald Trump, I'll get you more on the story.
And on trade, I have decided for purposes of fairness that I will charge a reciprocal tariff, meaning whatever countries charge the United States of America, we will charge them, no more, no less. In other words, they charge us a tax or tariff, and we charge them the exact same tax or tariff. Very simple. Nobody knows what that number is unless you go by the individual country. You can see what it is if you go to the individual country and you look at what they're charging us. In almost all cases, they're charging us vastly more than we charge them, but those days are over.
Now, how does that impact India? How does that impact several other countries across the world, be it China, be it Canada, be it Mexico, be it so many other countries? But on this special broadcast, we will focus on India. And I want to quickly bring in my colleagues Shiv Arur and Geeta Mohan joining us for more on this. Shiv, this had been Trump's stated position, and he's done that. But the timing, Shiv, very curious, hours before his meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Gaurav, I interpret this in two different ways. Number one, this is Trump sticking to his guns on the promises that he made in his campaign. It is very clear that economic muscle and the kind of economic nationalism that Trump had promised in the United States is going to spare no relationship, at least as far as these beginning weeks and months of the Trump administration are concerned. But I don't think we should be overly concerned, because I actually see a concession in this announcement. Remember, when it came to Mexico, Canada, even the European Union, Trump has named those countries and mentioned those tariffs. In this particular case, it appears to be a blanket announcement, even though Trump has been on record to say that India has more tariffs than, nearly any other country. India is a tariff king. He has said all of those things. But it seems to me that the US president may have made something of a concession by making a larger, more general, sweeping statement about tariffs in general. I don't want to read too much into it. I don't want to, jump the gun and say that is in keeping with the fact that Modi, someone he shares a strong personal bond with, is right there, and he's going to be meeting him, in just a few hours from now, Gaurav. But remember that this is Trump. He does what he wants. The fact that he has stuck to his guns, decided to make the announcement even while Modi is there, should be seen as very signature Trump muscle flexing. It's showing that his priority and commitment to his constituency, which is economic muscle, a kind of no nonsense, taking no prisoners policy as far as tariffs is concerned, is something he's not going to compromise on, no matter which relationship is on the table.
Very interesting. You should mention that. Geeta Mohan joins us from Washington, D.C. Siddharth Zarabi, managing editor, Business Today, with me on this special broadcast. Geeta, how should India be viewing this? Okay, give me a moment as we try and reestablish this link with Geeta Mohan. Siddharth Zarabi, how should India view this? Trump in the past has called India the tariff king. In the past, comments have been made that India has the highest tariff. So does this adversely impact us?
Well, very clearly what President Trump has done is that no one has been spared. The context of the announcement is that this is a reciprocal tariff policy architecture that he has unveiled. The U.S. trade representative will now, from the early accounts as we understand, do a country-by-country analysis, Gaurav. And that analysis will therefore look at individual countries and tariffs. Therefore, this is far more sweeping than what had been anticipated. So far, Gaurav, the critical thing for us all to understand is that There were individual countries that had been spoken about. Individual actions had been taken against China or, for example, Mexico. What he has done today is to announce a reciprocal tariff policy that will have a global impact. Now, what will it be for individual countries, including like India? That the U.S. trade representatives report, and there are already reports that are emerging that U.S. officials have been quoted telling the press that is present there that this tariff could happen as early as a few weeks or it could take a few months, which is where the process of discovery and country-by-country adjustments and impact decisions could be taken. On India, very quickly, before I hand it back to you, Gaurav, please understand, broadly speaking, our average tariffs are somewhere above 11%. When you look at average across goods, the U.S. tariffs are 2.5%, quarter to 3%. So obviously, on paper, there is a gap. However, it is not as if all categories that are imported into India see higher tariffs. India has already addressed some of the key critical pain points, including Harley-Davidson, for example, and I believe more will be indicated during the bilateral meeting that is set to take place.
So, Siddharth, before I bring in Shiv, Harley-Davidson's iPhones, these are some of the issues that America is seeking greater access to. Perhaps Tesla, some of those have already been indicated. Donald Trump has also said that India has the highest tariffs. But as far as Indian exports to the US are concerned, be it pharmaceuticals or IT, what gets adversely impacted, Siddharth?
Well, this is basically going to ignite a global trade war. And instead of one action, Gaurav, it is going to be multiple actions that will now continuously pan out. So, first things first, India is going to be impacted. We are likely to see a negative reaction in the Indian stock market early tomorrow once trade opens. That's number one. Which are the sectors that could be impacted? The reports so far indicate that steel has been mentioned, pharma has been mentioned, automobiles as a separate category has also been spoken about. A mention of India as being a high tariff country has perhaps been reiterated today. So what does this tell us? That this is just the beginning. And very clearly, the key point that I bring out again, Gaurav, for our viewers is that this is a sweeping, all-encompassing, broad strokes effort of reciprocal tariffs. Earlier, it was country by country. Now, anyone could get swept in because there are countries who, for various reasons, because of the size of their economy, the level of industrial development in their domestic economy, the need to create local jobs, or sectors like dairy, for instance, these are key concern areas which will now continue to be, like small bombs going off every now and then.
But hold on, the devil lies in the detail, and stay with me, Siddharth. Very, very interesting details that are coming in as Donald Trump speaks, and he's speaking at the White House. We're getting every bit of information first.